Time to call the November Elizabethton Board of Education to order. Thank you everyone for being here tonight. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Van Huss, and he'll lead us in a moment of silence and the pledge.
Would you please stand? Please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's now time to approve the consent agenda and the regular agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Take motion, and I'll take Bob's a second. Any questions, anything need to be moved or to the regular? Okay, if not, the motion is to approve consent agenda and regular agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. It's time for citizens to speak. No one asked to speak before the board tonight. We'll move on now to special recognition, and I'll turn that over again to Mr. Van Huss.
Thank you. We have two recognitions tonight. So at this time, if we could have Ms. Turbyfield from the high school to come forward, along with Hannah Daniels, and going to share some information about our system-wide Christmas card and the artwork.
That's really good.
Come up here and stand. Tonight we are recognizing a student whose work reminds us of what it is to be creative and truly believe in it. Hannah is a senior at Elizabethton High School, and I've had the privilege of teaching her for 2 classes, drawing and set design. She is an outstanding, very talented, well-rounded student in the visual and performing arts. She has performed in Sherlock Holmes, Beetlejuice, Into the Woods. She has placed 6th in the state in a humorous interpretation for speech and debate. She has over 200 merit points in national speech and debate, which I am not a public speaker. That's very impressive. Last year, I actually selected her self-portrait drawing that she did in charcoal to send to the Tennessee National Congressional Show. And I think that demonstrates her artistic ability. So last year, I approached Hannah and asked her to come up with some sketches and ideas for the holiday card. She took the word Christmas and turned it into this beautiful drawing behind me. It stands out because it reflects thoughts, effort, creativity, and hearts. And I think that it's a beautiful example of what Hannah can do. But what makes Hannah remarkable isn't just her artistic talent and eye for detail. It's the way that she steps into every role and job with purpose. She's a really true student leader. So this fall, she wasn't just part of the Beetlejuice production. She helped hold it all together as the stage manager and costume coordinator. She performed on stage, managed the chaos backstage, and collaborated with the set design to create artwork and sculptures for the show. And I think managing all of that is just really impressive. I think also the most inspiring part is where she's headed next. She graduates this year, and I think she has plans to go to SCAD and go into arts and drama education. So she's also a future educator. So tonight we're celebrating more than just a Christmas card. We're celebrating a young artist and future educator. And I know that I'm extremely proud. I know that Ms. Foster's really proud, and Ms. Malone. I've talked to all of them today. And so please join me in congratulating her on her beautiful design that we're using this year. And we're just really proud of you. she did have a question if she could get a copy of
Oh,
this
absolutely.
printed. Okay.
Yeah, you want an actual card? Would you like an actual card, or do you want
Yeah.
the? Oh yeah, absolutely. Here you
Oh,
go.
there's one over there.
We have a bunch more too if you want some more.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Here's another one if you want it.
If y'all don't mind, yeah,
Yeah,
come
I'm-
over here. Let's take your picture.
kidding.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's awesome. Super cool.
I didn't know if you guys had one.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great.
There we go.
So just to give you an idea, this is the second year we've had this a system Christmas card with artwork from students. And this year, just so you know how the selection process went, we had several submissions from students across the district, and we brought them before a pretty demanding and strict judging group. It included everyone here at the central office. And so they basically got to look through all of them and vote on the one that was selected. And of course, Hannah's was selected, so congratulations. So. Next up, if we would like to recognize the 2025 version of the Betsy Band, as we are so excited about the season they had and bringing home another state championship to Elizabethton. So, Mr. Valentine.
Yes, thank you guys once again so much for having us, for all your support over the years and over the course of our year. It was another fantastic year, as Mr. Van Huss said, for the Betsy Band, winning our 4th state championship in a row. And we started off the year by going down to Inca, North Carolina, and getting to go to that contest. We wanted to go to it last year. We didn't get to because of the hurricane, so we were excited to get to go back to that one, and we got first place overall in that contest. Then we went to James F. Burns in South Carolina to go to a competition to have some really fantastic judging and compete against some high caliber bands. We ended up getting 4th place overall in that contest, and then we came back and went to the BOA regional at Johnson City that we typically like to go to. A regional championship being only 15 minutes away from us is kind of a no-brainer. So we went to that one, and we were 3rd in our class and managed to finish 12th overall. It was really strong. And then we got to host our band competition, this is the 4th time we've gotten to do that since I've been here. And we got to host 21 awesome bands, including the Marching Bucks, performed an exhibition, and had a great time at that event this year. And then we went down to Stewart's Creek High School for the state championship Division II. Which is for schools of 1,000 less students. And the preliminary performance was a fantastic performance and great elements. And then that night it decided that there was going to be a giant storm come through, and they decided to have the band contest anyway. So we literally weathered the storm as they performed in finals. But one of the things that I'm the most proud about them is just how they responded to that. I mean, how they responded to that event. It was cold, it was wet, it was miserable, but we probably had one of our best and most fun and most memorable nights that night, at least until we finished performing, and then it just went back to being cold and miserable. So after the adrenaline was done, but they responded in a way that it was a very memorable part of my career so far, because that performance was electric. I mean, it was truly spectacular. And that performance and the way that they responded to that adversity was what won them the state championship. And so before you tonight, we brought some of our leadership, our seniors, some of our captains and section leaders, and people that decided to come join us. And some of them were wearing all their medals, which I'm sorry about your moment of silence there earlier as we were clanging them together. But this will be the senior class that goes down as undefeated state champions for 4 state championships in 4 years, which is definitely a Betsy first. And so we're really, really proud of them and their hard work. I'm grateful for our senior class as they go off. Of course, we still have them for a semester, so I don't say goodbye too soon. But we go off and do great things, and we're really excited for them and thankful for them as they continue to uphold the excellence of the past and the future. So, yeah, congratulations, guys. Let's come up here and take a picture.
Yeah, you can do 2 rows. That'd probably be better. Yeah. I would just say I don't think we ever want to get complacent, certainly about winning a state championship and the ability to do that 4 years in a row and all the work that takes. So, again, thank you for your commitment and the pride you bring to Elizabethton. So thank you very much.
This is the time normally when we say if you want to stay. We do have a very short meeting, but I know people are very busy. But if you need to leave, this would be a good time to skip on out. You're welcome. But you're welcome to stay if you'd like. So.
You have to skip.
Okay, it's now time for the director's update. So, Mr. Van Huss, we'll start with you.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of items to draw your attention to. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to attend the TSBA annual convention last week in Nashville. Had a great time. We had 100% board participation, which I'm not sure if we've had the entire board there since I've been director. So thank you all very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to do that. I think it was a great convention. We had an opportunity to spend a lot of great time and hear some great presentations of things going on across the state, many of them that we're a part of. For instance, the Niswonger Foundation had a large part in the convention and sharing some of the things that they're doing there, again, that we're a part of. So thank you very much for allowing me to go with you, and thank you for your attendance. And you all may have some additional information you want to share about that experience as well. Just 2 or 3 other things here. You should have a copy of the Ballard Health Academy annual report, and just to remind you, that is the academy that Elizabethton City Schools is one of 8 school districts that's participating in that, in the nursing program and the opportunities that's going to provide for our students to achieve their LPN before they graduate from high school. So that's a great publication they've put together there to show you some statistics, some things about the program. So I hope that is beneficial and informative for you. Would also like to congratulate Dr. John Minton, who was selected as the Tennessee Association of Secondary School Principals as the East Grand Division Principal of the Year. So this is all the high school principals in the state of Tennessee. So he was the East Grand Division winner, and then he was selected as the state winner. So he is the state secondary school principal of the year. So we're very happy for him. Did he try to? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's trying to hide over there. So congratulations. So he will have the opportunity to compete for the National Secondary Principal of the Year in Washington, D.C. in April. So we already know he's the national winner, but maybe they'll tell us that as well. So, again, embarrassment has now stopped. So we'll move on. So last thing I would like to draw your attention to is to remind you that we will have the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Dave Ryder Center for Athletic Performance, the RCAP. That's tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and feel free to go ahead and pull around behind the school and park in the new parking lot, and we can just enter there, and should be a great time. Really looking forward to that. If you've not had a chance to be in the facility yet, it's super nice. The students, again, are already using it. The benefits are just amazing. I don't know how often this happens, but I was at the high school yesterday. It was about 4:15. I was leaving. I'd been talking with Dr. Minton, and we came out of his office, and Coach Witten was walking down the hall. And you know where he was going? He was going home. You know why? Because he was able to go in there with the students, the football team, do their workouts, and he was ready to go home by that time, which normally it may be 5 or 6 o'clock, which means students are there that late as well. So just the opportunity that this facility provides to give students back some time with family and friends is invaluable. So that's just one of the many benefits to that, but thought I would share that. So look forward to seeing everyone there tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And that's my report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Van Huss. It's now time for board member reports, and again, like he said, I know we've had an opportunity, so any board member that'd like to share, if there was something that sticks out from the convention, we did have to suffer at the Gaylord Opry for 3 or 4 days, but we did it because we love the system. And but anyway, anybody have anything that stuck out that what I would say overall, that's the best collective group of speakers that I can remember maybe being there. They kept knocking it out of the park. So, but anybody want to share anything?
I think like what you said on that, it was almost hard with the breakout sessions. It was hard to choose. There were 2 or 3 that overlapped. It's like, man, I wish I could, go to. But for me, it was definitely delegate assembly, like we were talking about earlier. That was the first time to get to do that, and that was really interesting just to see. Like you said, Eddie, it was a big board meeting, but it was very interesting just to see how all that works out. That each system can kind of propose a proposal, and it got there were a lot of opinions thrown out there. So that part was also very. It was nice to be able to hear though both sides of the issue, and then occasionally they had some of the TSBA attorneys weigh in on. So very, very interesting opportunity to do that.
Yeah, everybody in Tennessee doesn't think the same way.
Obviously not.
And there are pockets. I mean, it is interesting to hear the different views.
It was. I enjoyed that a lot.
I was just going to say that's the opportunity where they set the kind of their legislative focus for the year. So it's as you say, it's very important. It's democracy at work. So.
It definitely was. Yep.
Yeah. So again, and we as board members, and we don't necessarily. I don't remember a time that we've necessarily had something. We really depend on TSBA. But if we had an issue, that's the way we can affect change.
Yeah.
Any of us could have a resolution and work with our attorneys to be able to do that. If we felt like something wasn't right, something needed a tweak, something needed a change, and we could have it presented the same way. So again, keep that in mind in the changing world that we're in. So we do have the opportunity to do that as well. Anyone else?
Mr. Pless, I would add, I was, as a new board member, was drinking from a fire hydrant a bit with all the information coming at us. I was struck by the challenges facing public education in Tennessee, which are significant. But I wanted to share, I went to a session about tutoring, and I was so proud that repeatedly the Elizabethton City School System was called out, and this session they didn't know any of us were in there. I guess they didn't recognize me.
I've been the only person in Nashville.
No. They repeatedly called out Elizabethton High School, and they then went on to also call out Richard Van Huss as being someone who has been an exemplary leader according to the Niswonger Foundation. So, of course, I was filled with pride, and then I began to worry, and so I circled the room and I said, don't even think about it, to other school board members. But it was wonderful to hear our school system really praised in a meeting out of nowhere for the work that's been done. So congratulations to you all.
As always, the children were the highlight performing for us at the meeting and stuff. We were there Sunday morning, and there was a group they were from Bradley County, and we were saying, "Oh, they're high school." I talked to the parents; they were 7th and 8th graders, and they were pretty amazing, singing and dancing, and pretty impressive. Enjoyed it.
It was great.
Anything, dear?
No, they said it all.
Well, there are certain people,
took all the
y'all, if you get a chance, look up Orion Jean. He's a 15-year-old kid. who kind of
Yeah.
was one of the first people, just, I mean, in front of 800 school board members and the director of school, just, he has a project, just his focus is about being kind, and it's acts of kindness. So he was unbelievable. And then Jeff Henderson, who's a Chick-fil-A kind of exec or marketing guru, just these people, everything they say can apply to, you know, to a business or to a school system or whatever, and they're worth looking. I appreciate Mr. Van. He was on really quickly looking at potentially having them to come to an in-service or to a professional development day or something to be able to share, because you walk out of there just really challenged. I mean, I just, like I said, I thought the speakers and the breakout sessions were excellent. So, all right. Anybody else? Okay, Mr. Simmerly, City Council Liaison.
Well, I'm sitting here listening to you guys say you were surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not. I'm proud.
That's because you're an old hat.
I only have one thing tonight. Again, I want to thank you. Thank you for doing what you do. We know how much you get paid for these jobs, but again, thank you for what you do every day. I just want to remind you, we have volunteer hours for students at the Carter Compassion Center. The Carter Compassion Center, we have full-time people who are staffed and work there every day. So if we have students come in, there will be an adult there with them. So just want, again, it's just we need a little help, and if they need some hours, this is a great opportunity for them to come in and get their work hours at the Carter Compassion Center. It's a great organization, good people. It's just an opportunity for these students to kind of understand there's other people in our community that need help. And it might even be some of the students they go to class with. But again, it's a great program, great opportunity. But again, it's an opportunity for these students. If they need some hours, we'll work with them. We'll be glad to have them. I've got a student, Lily Ann Harden. A little shout out to her. She's working on a project with another group I work with Keep Carter County Beautiful. And she's doing a beautification project on Tweetsie Trail. And she and I are working together with a couple other people. And we're going to be planting some shrubbery, maybe some trees, some flowers. And so she's kind of got a little, laid it in her lap, and she's kind of done a little draw up, and she'll present that to us soon. But we're going to be going and purchasing some things come spring and do some planning with her. So again, it's just the students that we have in our organization, we're so proud of them. And that's one of her student projects she's doing. I think she's a senior this year, but she's doing that as a project for school to, again, beautify our community and give back. And that's why y'all are sitting there. You're giving back. And here's a young lady doing that as well. Proud of them. Thank you for your time.
Is there a good contact person at the Carter Compassion?
You can contact me,
Okay.
or you can contact it. Just go online, Carter Compassion Center, phone number. We have website, phone number,
Okay.
as well as should be a couple, 3 names that you can contact on there.
Okay, great.
I know who works there full time, but I don't want to give out her name in case
Sure.
maybe she's not
No
there.
problem.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. And again, our student liaison was not able to be here tonight, but I will brag on her, as she was a cross-country runner, and they finished very high in the state, and she had a really good time, so I appreciate her efforts there. She is a busy young lady, to say the least. It's now time for the regular agenda. First item on the agenda is to approve the 26-27 school year calendar. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion and a second?
Second.
I got you. Thank you. All right. Mr. Van Ness, I know it's just a couple of tweaks. Is that-
Yeah. So I think we moved Professional Development Day was the only change that we made, and so this will go out as the final version. There's always, again, just to remind you how this process works, we have at least 2 representatives from every school, and we meet as a committee and go through the process to develop a calendar each year. And we work 2 years ahead, so we've already met and started working on 27, 28. But always right before that year starts, we like to look at it and make sure there's not some new information that we have that we need to tweak on that as well. And this is something that Mr. Thompson is now taking care of and leading that work. So that was, I think, the only change that we made. And again, we continue to work with input from those teachers for 27, 28. We try to do that because we get lots of requests from family members who may only be able to take vacation certain times. And so the earlier they can know that and try to schedule that. And so we understand how important that is. And so we try to give them something to look at, to have some idea. There's lots of always questions around fall break and spring break and when those would potentially be. And we also try to take into account, certainly during football season, what our football schedule looks like, home schedule. When you think about if we're on break and we have a home game, we need workers in order to host the game, and sometimes that's challenging if we're out on fall break. So all those things kind of play into the schedule. And pretty much what you see before you is almost kind of become pretty standard for us. We have a couple of days off around November when election days typically are. Just some of those things, Christmas break. We always take, again, 1 full week for fall break, 3 days at Thanksgiving, a full week of spring break, and that kind of depends on where it falls each year on the calendar. Certainly around Good Friday as well. We typically take Good Friday off, so as you notice on this calendar, that lines up for the same week, but that doesn't always happen. So there's always nuances to every calendar. So any questions about this one?
All right. The item is to approve the 2026-2027 school year calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? There are none. Last item on the agenda, approve waiver of policies for Harbor Freight Tools for Schools grant award to teacher. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion and a second?
Second.
Okay.
So-
Go ahead, yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Anderson.
sorry, my
Yeah.
apologies. So just to remind you, if you remember, there was last month, Jerry Agan at the high school had written a grant proposal to Harbor Freight Tools for Schools for a $100,000 grant. And as you know, he won that particular award. Part of the grant request from Harbor Freight Tools for Schools was that the instructor get a portion of those funds directly. And so in talking with the comptroller as well as Ms. Owen, our board attorney, and looking at policies that we have in place, we felt there were 2 policies that could potentially be in conflict with that. There's actually 3, because there's one policy that talks about when people make any kind of a donation or something like that to the school system, there's the expectation they have some input on where those funds go. So we have that, and then requesting that being made, then you have some, since it involves an employee, you have some policies that could potentially come under and be in question. So there are 2 policies. 5.100 talks about compensation and talks about that those salaries may be paid from revenue, from tax revenue and things like that. So there were some concerns about whether or not a donation could be something like this. It's more like an award, could be used for that. So the one recommendation is for this particular situation that we suspend policy 5.110. And then there's another policy, 5.605, that talks about staff gifts and solicitations, and talks about that they're prohibited from receiving certain things of monetary value. So in suspending these 2 policies just for this particular situation, that would allow us to meet their request for dispersion of these grant funds. So again, this is just a one-time thing for this particular situation. Typically, things like that grants that we receive don't necessarily have that component. But at the end of the day, he took the onus and responsibility to write that grant and do that. Others have that opportunity certainly as well. So that's my recommendation to you, that you consider this and approve this suspension, this one-time suspension.
And then the question is, it's just suspended until that is completed?
Yeah,
Okay.
the item is specifically just about this particular award. And just for reference, if you look at Board Policy 1.600, that's the policy development and adoption policy. And it says, any board policy or part thereof may be suspended either by unanimous vote of the board members present or by 2/3 vote on the total membership of the board. So the last time we suspended some policies, if you remember, during the C word, during COVID, there were several policies that we had to suspend in order to do business in that emergency situation. So it is something that the board, has done from time to time. But I do appreciate the fact it's not a regular occurrence that the board does that. We try very hard to stick to policy, but in this particular situation, my recommendation is that you consider approving this.
Okay. Comments or questions there? All right, the motion is to approve waiver of policies for Harbor Freight Tools for Schools Grant Award to teacher. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And there are none. Motion carries. All right. Next board meeting is scheduled for Thursday, December the 18th, here in the Mac Pierce Boardroom at 5:30. Can I get a motion?
Don't forget about tomorrow.
And yes, and the RCAP, RPAC, I can't get it right. So, all right, at 1 o'clock, get a motion to dismiss. Motion. Y'all have a good evening.